Say on streets.
Our streets.
Say on streets. And Maine it.
Right.
Maine it. Whose streets?
Our streets.
Word on the beat, word on the beat, word on the beat.
Time after time after time after time after time after time after
What up? It's your boy Baz. Man, we gonna be kicking it real live and funky today, man. We gonna be talking about the community, but most importantly, we gonna be talking about the culture. And we're gonna talk about a holiday, man, that recently just passed, but it's gonna come around every year, and it's part of my culture in particular and some of my listeners' culture. We talking about Juneteenth, and if you are African American, you come from that bloodline, you might not understand the full importance of it or the origination, or the origins. Let me talk proper. You feel me? We on a global scale now, man. So let me talk proper. The origins. I ain't gonna say talk proper. I'm just talking the way that y'all can understand though. But the origins of Juneteenth. But first, let's get into the actual facts. So what is Juneteenth? What is this shit that everybody be talking about on social media and celebrating? So Juneteenth is a holiday that commemorates, which basically means it celebrates or acknowledge, you feel me, the ending of slavery in the United States of America. It is also called the Emancipation Day or Juneteenth Independence Day. The name Juneteenth referring to the day of the actual, you feel me? It refers to the actual, the actual date where all this really went down. So, you know, I want to kind of go back into like the actual history of things. You feel me? And go back into, you feel me, how and exactly, you know, where did all this it happened. You feel me? So. Let's go back in time and history. We know that the civil rights, but the Civil War, even before civil rights. Let's go back to the Civil War. You feel me? When everybody know that the Union and the Confederates, they all went, you feel me, fighting over slavery and basically fighting to bring America back together, which was once split over, you know, like over that argument or whatever. Long story short, as we all know, the Union won and President Lincoln, you feel me, ended slavery, but word didn't get back to Texas. Word didn't get back to Texas until June 19th, 1865, where basically soldiers arrived in the Union and basically began to tell Texas, you feel me, they told Texas, basically, they let Texas be known that they ended slavery and that slavery was over with. And this was June 19th, you feel me, 1865, by the general named Robert S. Granger. You feel me? He's the one that issued the proclamation and notifying that Negroes were free in Texas. And basically, a year later, you feel me, they basically been started celebrating it. But it wasn't acknowledged like on like a national, not a national scale, but it just wasn't acknowledged yet. You feel me? Like as a holiday. So now it's like you feel me, like they began celebrating, you feel me, on 1866. It was marked as the first anniversary of the actual day. The African Americans began to, you know, you feel me, celebrate the day that they learned about, you feel me, being emancipated from slavery in America. Long story short, you feel me? But then, as we all know, in that first state, in the actual state of Texas, that's how it also began to become what we would call like a celebrated holiday, and that was just due to the fact that their actual governor, James V. Alfred, he was one of the first people. He basically made that. He acknowledged it as an actual holiday that could be celebrated throughout Texas. And the funny thing that's about that is, once they did that, it became a holiday that's highly celebrated throughout Texas. And then once they began to do that, you feel me, became a big thing. We all know in America the Great Migration, and that was a lot of black people that moved from the southern states. They moved out west, and they also moved to northern states, and they also brought that culture with them. That Juneteenth culture. Some of those cities was Minneapolis.